It's no secret that I think the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro, it's an underrated SUV. When we gave our totally unbiased review of the Tiggo 7 Pro, we actually gave it 81 out of 100. We cited its fantastic value and pretty luxury-esque interior as being the real big reason why people would want it. And for just $36,990 drive away, you get a fully loaded family SUV. And that is incredibly good value for those who are looking to buy a new SUV with a 7-year unlimited kilometer warranty and the backing of China's largest car exporter. But this is where a lot of the issues come in. China. There is no doubt for me that 10 years ago, Chery products, well, they had room for improvement. But since re-entering the market just last year, first with the Emoto 5 and now with the Tiggo 7 Pro, and of course the upcoming Tiggo 8 Pro Max, and well over 60 dealerships around Australia, well, Chery is a very different story today. But herein lies the issue. If you look up reviews of the Tiggo 7 Pro, read the comment section. If it's not a comment saying how much someone loves the Tiggo 7 Pro they just bought, it's a stupid comment saying Chinese cars are terrible. Let's call it out for what it is. Kinda racist. And a lot of people, maybe even you, see a really good Chinese SUV like the Tiggo 7 Pro and are almost fearful of what your friends and family might say, which is sad in a world where people need more affordable cars more than ever. As you guys know, we at CarSource are fiercely honest. We say it how it is. Global politics aside, if a car is terrible, we will tell you. If it's amazing or anything in between, we will also tell you. So Chery reached out to me without any directive and told me they want to promote their Chery Tiggo 7 Pro in any way I want to, without some conspiracy of observation. So today I'm going to tell you why I honestly believe the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro is a totally underrated SUV, might even be the most underrated SUV currently sold in Australia. I'm going to give you the facts and you can ultimately make the decision, or let me know what you think down below. It's a free country. Let's start with Chery themselves. They were actually in Australia before, but under a very different pretense. You see, they were sold by a distributor rather than Chery themselves. They sold two models, the Chery J11 and J1, which due to less than ideal and unfortunately poor sales means that, well, you can't really keep selling the cars here. And there were definitely some other issues like poor marketing strategies and other boring business stuff. But the reality is the products, despite their low price, they were just okay. You fast forward to 2023 when Chery re-entered Australia with just one model, the Emoto 5. With that one model, they already secured 60 dealerships, which is unheard of. Dealerships will not sign up a new manufacturer unless they think they are going to sell loads of cars. Not only that, the Emoto 5, it scored a 5-star ANCAP safety rating, which is really hard to achieve as we've seen recently. And it comes with heaps of standard equipment and it sells for just $32,990 drive away. That's so wallet friendly and as a result, it's done incredibly well. In fact, in around 9 months, over 5,000 units were sold in one of the most competitive segments, the small SUV segment. Hell, when we tested it, we were shocked and I've linked that video down below. So with that success, Chery is obviously going to expand their range. Enter the Tiggo 7 Pro. And of course, we have reviewed this car, but we'll link that down below. But here's a summary. If we talk about the exterior, and I want you to keep in mind that it costs just $36,990 drive away. And considering that looks are subjective, if I'm being honest, I thought it was actually kind of average at first. There you go, that's how you know that I can say whatever I want. Thanks, Chery. But it's one of those things that you really need to see in the metal because it really is very handsome and looks way more expensive than it actually is. Standard inclusions are very impressive, from really bright LED lights, which is often cheaped out on competition, down to the alloy wheels across the range. Yes, some competitors will still sell you steel wheels and halogen lights at this price point just to save on cost. Touches down to the light bar at the rear are also really not cheap for manufacturers. So to see that included means that this thing actually looks premium driving on the road. Personally, I love that you don't have to just lose out on style because you may not be able to afford a higher grade. Across the range, they look pretty much the same, and that's awesome. And of course, again, design is subjective, but safety isn't. Either a car crashes well, or it just doesn't. And I'm happy to report that the Tiggo 7 Pro definitely crashes well. It scored 5 stars with ANCAP, and as we know, ANCAP are pretty damn stringent these days. And here is another winner. It's the interior experience, and really one of the biggest underrated features of this car, or feature set, I should say. One thing people seem to forget is that when you go with an entry model Korean or Japanese car at the same price point, they completely remove any form of premium materials you see at higher ends of the model range, and they leave you with that cheap and nasty plastic stuff. We've seen it heaps of times before, and yet across the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro range, you'll find a surprising amount of the primo stuff. And that is important, not just because it actually looks and feels good to touch, but also because soft materials soak up road noise, whereas the scratchy stuff, it reflects it. And it's a really nice and quiet cabin. Listen to this snippet of the standard list of equipment that you get on the base model. You get faux leather seats with power control for the driver and the passenger, dual zone climate control, dual 12.3-inch displays with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You get Turbo Dog navigation, which is a strange name, but it actually works well. You get an 8-speaker Sony sound system, heated front seats, and obviously the list goes on and on. And by the way, you can read more about that now on our website, carsource.com. But suffice to say, even if your budget can't stretch to include an almost $60,000 Japanese competitor, you can still enjoy a luxury on a budget experience. Like I said though, you guys, you know I'm honest. So honestly, I can say that some of the tech, mainly the driver monitoring system, could be better calibrated. Sometimes it just beeps at you for looking at the gauge cluster, for example. But Chery tell me that they have heard the complaints, and every time you take your Chery to the dealer for its annual service, those firmware updates will continue to improve those systems. And that's fantastic to see that the local arm in Australia, which by the way are manned by Australians, well, they care about the feedback that they get. Big thumbs up from me. Okay, so what about how the Tiggo 7 Pro drives? At this price point, you'll almost always find a naturally aspirated engine in competitors. And what that really means is that you're not going to find a turbocharged engine in most competitors at this price, which can really lead to poor acceleration and even worse fuel economy. Also, CVTs. So many CVTs, which no, you can't actually service. The Tiggo 7 Pro comes with a 1.6 litre turbocharged 4-cylinder petrol engine that puts out a very healthy 137 kilowatt of power and 275 newton meters of torque. It's paired with a 7-speed dual clutch transmission that, while not the most inspiring, it is certainly better than the loud, cheap, and impossible to service CVTs that you find in so many competitors. It comes front-wheel drive for all variants except the top spec Ultimate, which we reviewed, and that is all-wheel drive. Having a 0 to 100 km/h time of less than 10 seconds is more than enough for daily driving, and it actually pulls surprisingly hard thanks to its very healthy torque figures and torque band. Fuel economy is fantastic at just 7 litres per 100 kilometers for the front-wheel drive version, and it gets very close to that in real-world driving. Ride quality is definitely tuned for softness, not hard cornering, but isn't that actually what you want for a family SUV? In our review, we said, yeah, that is what you want. And actually, since the government has introduced the fuel efficiency standards in Australia, a lot of competitors are scrambling to update their engines to match the Euro 6b standards that the Tiggo 7 already comes with. In our review, we said, and I quote, "The Tiggo 7 Pro drives great with a solid feel to it that again makes it feel far more expensive than its price tag suggests." And that's the truth. But let's be honest, the proof is in the pudding here. I may have liked the car for the week that I drove it, but it is true that I don't own one, where long-term impressions often reveal the ultimate truth about a car. So before I said yes to Chery, I went onto Facebook and I joined the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro owners group. Immediately, the first post I saw was from Marcello, or Marcello, apologies if I butchered your name, who was very giddy to share that he gets great fuel economy in his Chery Tiggo 7 Pro, and that with his ownership experience, it gets better and better, with no less than 4 exclamation marks, I might add. So he's very serious about his Tiggo 7 Pro. A little bit of scrolling past the person who asks you how to turn off the introduction music when you open the car, which, by the way, sounds like this. And yes, don't worry, you can actually turn that off. Well, you quickly see Beck's post, who is ecstatic on her new purchase, and then the next post is Fiona, who specifically loves her Jupiter Blue baby, and the list goes on and on and on. In fact, I couldn't find a single negative post after scrolling a decent amount, just people having troubleshooting problems. So I just gave up. Clearly, the social proof is in the pudding here. So it's clear to me that the Cherry Tiggo 7 Pro, it not only offers exceptional value, but also challenges the preconceived notions about Chinese cars with its high quality build, a really nice interior, and pretty impressive performance overall, especially when you consider its low entry price. From the detailed exterior design to the feature-packed interior, honestly, the Tiggo 7 Pro, it stands as a testament to how far Cherry has actually come and how it's reshaping its identity in the Australian market. The review that we made, which as you guys know is unbiased completely, was not paid for, our honest thoughts, well, it laid out the facts for you there, and hopefully I've done it here today. The Cherry Tiggo 7 Pro is without a doubt one of Australia's most underrated SUVs because it really combines luxury, efficiency, performance, and affordability in a package that's really hard to overlook for anyone who is in the market for a new family SUV and doesn't have the world to spend. But don't just take our word for it. We encourage you to delve deeper. For more detailed information, insights, and to explore the vast array of features the Tiggo 7 Pro has to offer, make sure you click the link in the description below to visit the Cherry website. And you can visit our website, carsource.com, where we've laid out everything you need to know about this really quite exceptional SUV. And don't forget, if you want to buy a Cherry Tiggo 7 Pro, we can help you. Head to carsource.com/buy to get the best deals from our network of Cherry dealers across Australia. We'll make sure we not only guide you, but you get the best deals. And of course, let us know what you think of the Cherry Tiggo 7 Pro down below. Ciao for now.